We switch gears now to Zimbabwe, where the President Emmerson Mnangagwa said earlier this week that the ZiG will be fast-tracked to become the sole legal tender within 2 years. That puts at risk the use of US dollars ahead of a 2030 deadline when the current multi-currency system ends. The change would mean that US dollars now used in more than 80% of transactions would no longer be allowed. The ZiG is the nation's sixth attempt in 15 years to have a functional local currency. Launched in early April, it backed by 2.5 tons of gold and $100 million in foreign currency reserves held by the central bank. And so to discuss this, we are joined by Dr. Nyasha Kaseke. He is an Economist and Senior Lecturer, University of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for coming on. We're pressed for time, so very quickly, I would like for you to provide a bit of context on why the President of Zimbabwe made this announcement and what led to this decision.
Thank you very much. If you look in terms of Zimbabwe over the past 3 weeks, so the 3 months that we've launched our own local currency, we've realized that the local currency has managed to maintain its value and the prices have remained the same over the past 3 months after launching our own currency. And from this, we have also observed that the local currency has maintained its value against the US dollar in terms of the exchange rate, with the local currency only falling by about 1.56% since its launch in April up to now against the US dollar. So all these things, I think they are showing that the local currency have gained confidence with the sum of the public that we have, even though quite a number of transactions are still being done in US dollars, but people are gaining confidence in terms of the use of the local currency. So maybe these have led His Excellency to say maybe if we are moving towards the positive direction, we may think of having our own single currency working in the country.
Nyasha, I'm concerned about foreign direct investment, right, and how this would affect this. So, in your opinion, are there implications of making ZiG the sole legal tender when it comes to the effect on it on foreign trade and investment in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, you know what? If you look in terms of foreign trade, especially Zimbabwe is not doing very well in terms of exports. Why? Because our exports are very expensive as compared to other products because we are using a strong currency, which is the US. If you compare with other neighboring countries which are using their own currencies, we now realize that whatever they are producing, they are costing using their own local currencies, which is making their products cheaper. However, we know that maybe this can dent a bit in terms of the foreign direct investment that may come into the country. Why? Because of the lack of stability of the currency that we're having. But once our own local currency have got its own stability, we expect even the foreign direct investors to come and invest in the country, hoping that the currency that they're also going to trade in is also going to maintain its value. Yes, we may now say that they would have lost their own currency or they would have lost their value because of the use of the local currency. But look, in terms of what other countries are doing, they are using their own local currencies. The South Africans are using their own rand, the Botswana are using their own pula, but foreign investors are still coming based on whatever the return that they're going to get in terms of investment in those countries. So yes, we expected that to be happening in terms of Zimbabwe.
Well, we'll look to see what happens. But Nyasha, many thanks for doing this with us. We appreciate you for coming on.